Have you ever wondered what the biggest threats to your health are after 75? Most people assume that aging naturally leads to health issues, but the truth is, many of the leading causes of death after this age are completely preventable. If you're over 75, or know someone who is, you won't want to miss what we have to share today. In this video, we're going to reveal the 5 most common, but often overlooked, causes of death after 75. These aren't just statistics. These are real risks that affect people like you and your loved ones. We'll dive deep into heart disease, falls, respiratory issues, strokes, and cognitive decline. 5 health threats that are responsible for nearly all fatalities in this age group. You'll also learn how these risks can be managed or even avoided by making simple, powerful changes to your daily routine. Stay tuned until the end, because we'll not only show you what these risks are but also share practical steps you can take right now to protect your health, stay independent, and even add years to your life. You'll discover how small lifestyle changes in diet, exercise, and even home safety can drastically reduce these risks, allowing you to live a longer, more fulfilling life. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to take control of your health, no matter what age you are, and make sure you can enjoy your later years with vitality and peace of mind. So don't go anywhere. Let's dive in and uncover the top 5 risks to your health after 75. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Heart disease. Heart disease continues to be the #1 killer for those over 75, yet so many people don't realize just how much power they hold in preventing it. The heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it thrives when cared for properly, or it weakens when neglected over time. The unfortunate reality is that the warning signs often go unnoticed, creeping in slowly, leaving us unaware until the damage is already done. It's easy to assume that slowing down, feeling more tired, or becoming breathless with little effort are just part of aging. But these subtle signs can be early indicators that your heart isn't as strong as it used to be. And trust me, that's something that should never be ignored. One of the most significant contributors to heart disease is high blood pressure. Over time, the constant strain it puts on your arteries forces your heart to work harder than it ever should. The cruel part is that there are no obvious signs, no pain, no red flags, nothing that screams, "Take action now," until it's too late. It's a silent danger. You go on with your day, feeling fine, but inside, your heart is under immense pressure, silently weakening. That's why so many people find themselves in the hospital, stunned and confused, thinking, "How did this happen? I felt fine just yesterday." It's heart-wrenching when it could have been prevented with the right care. But it doesn't stop there. Another major factor that contributes to heart disease is poor diet. Years of indulging in processed foods, loading up on excess salt, and consuming unhealthy fats slowly start to choke your arteries, reducing circulation and causing damage to your heart. The scary part? It doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow burn. Many people don't realize that it's not just about avoiding the bad foods, it's about actively choosing the right ones. Your heart, like any other organ, needs good fuel to function at its best. If you're not feeding it properly, the damage is subtle but cumulative, and it happens much faster than you might imagine. Then there's the lack of movement. Our hearts were never meant to be sedentary. When we stop moving, when we allow ourselves to sit still for hours, the heart begins to suffer. Circulation slows down, muscles weaken, and your heart doesn't get the regular exercise it needs to stay strong. You don't have to be running marathons to keep your heart healthy, though. It's about staying active in whatever way you can, whether that's a simple walk around the block, stretching your muscles, or even chair exercises if that's what works for you. Even the smallest bit of movement keeps the heart pumping and the risk of heart disease significantly reduced. But the key is consistency. Little steps make a huge difference. The biggest mistake I see is the assumption that heart disease is just inevitable, that it's part of the aging process, or that because other family members have had heart attacks, it's just in the cards for you too. But here's the truth. Heart disease is not just fate. It's the result of small, everyday choices. The food you choose to eat, how often you move, how well you manage stress. Each of these factors plays a massive role in whether your heart stays healthy or starts to fail. The power is in your hands. You don't have to accept heart disease as your future, and you certainly don't have to wait until it's too late. You can protect your heart, and it's never too late to start. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, let it be this: you have far more control over your heart health than you realize. The choices you make today will determine how strong your heart stays for years to come. So, if you haven't already, now is the time to take action. The best time to start taking care of your heart is right now, in this moment. Don't wait for a wake-up call. Your heart is worth the effort. You are worth the effort. Number 2. Falls and injuries. Falls. It's one of those silent threats we rarely think about, until it's too late. For those over 75, it's not just a minor inconvenience. It's a devastating risk that looms over everything. I can't stress enough how much a simple fall can shake the foundation of a person's life. In an instant, everything changes. A single misstep, a sudden wave of dizziness, or a small slip on a wet floor. And just like that, a fractured hip, a bump on the head, or even a seemingly insignificant bruise can trigger a chain of events that spirals into something life-threatening. The scary part is that most people don't realize how vulnerable they've become until the damage is already done. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Falls are one of the top causes of injury-related deaths among seniors. Can you believe that? Every year, millions of emergency room visits are the result of falls. For so many, just one fall marks the beginning of a decline that they might never fully recover from. Imagine this. A hip fracture can send you into months of bed rest, rob you of your independence, and increase your chances of infections and complications. Yet, despite how serious and prevalent this problem is, most of us don't take fall prevention seriously until it strikes someone we care about, or even ourselves. As we age, our bodies don't recover the way they used to. Our balance, muscle strength, and reflexes all begin to diminish gradually. The trouble is, this happens so slowly, we don't always notice it until something goes wrong. You might feel perfectly fine, moving around your house, doing your daily routines, nothing out of the ordinary. But one day, you reach for that shelf, and suddenly, your body doesn't respond the way it once did. That simple misstep that once wouldn't have mattered becomes a full-blown fall. And now, the body that used to bounce back quickly can't recover so easily. What would have been just a stumble can now lead to something incredibly damaging. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. And you know what makes this even worse? The fear. Fear of falling starts to control your life. After one close call, many seniors stop moving as much. They avoid walks, skip the stairs, and hold back from simple activities, all because of the fear that it will happen again. But here's the irony. The less you move, the weaker your muscles get, and the weaker you become, the more likely you are to fall. It's a vicious, endless cycle that robs you of the very independence and freedom you're trying to protect. You end up trapped in your own home, afraid of doing anything, and that fear, that hesitation, starts to take away your life piece by piece. But I refuse to believe that falls are inevitable. I refuse to accept that we simply have to accept them as part of getting older. You can make a difference. You can take control of your life again. There are simple yet powerful ways to reduce the risk of falling. By strengthening your legs and core, working on your balance, and making small changes at home, like better lighting, slip-proof rugs, and installing sturdy handrails, you can drastically reduce your chances of falling. Trust me, This can be the difference between remaining active, maintaining your independence, and facing a life-altering injury that changes everything. Another factor that we often overlook is the effect of medications. I can't tell you how many people experience dizziness, drowsiness, or low blood pressure due to the side effects of their prescriptions. If you've ever stood up too quickly and felt that lightheaded sensation, you've felt it firsthand. It's your body's way of telling you something's not right. Having a conversation with your doctor about your medications, understanding how they might be affecting your balance, and making the necessary adjustments could be a life-saving decision. Falls aren't just about tripping. They're about staying strong, staying steady, and staying aware of the things that can make a real difference. After the age of 75, one fall can be the game changer. Taking small, proactive steps today can ensure that you continue to move freely, stay independent, and live with a higher quality of life for years to come. And that's something we all deserve. Number 3. Respiratory diseases. Breathing. It's something we take for granted, isn't it? We never truly appreciate each inhale, the rhythm of it, until it becomes a struggle. But for many, especially as we age, that struggle can start to creep in, often slowly and almost unnoticed at first. As our bodies grow older, our lungs, too, start to lose some of their youthful vigor. They don't perform as efficiently as they once did. Something as simple as a light cough, a moment of shortness of breath, can eventually evolve into something far more concerning, and even dangerous. It's heartbreaking to realize just how many seniors don't take respiratory issues seriously until it's too late. These seemingly small symptoms, like wheezing or feeling winded after minimal exertion, can be warning signs of something far more serious. It's not just part of getting older, it's your body trying to tell you it needs help. Respiratory diseases, particularly after the age of 75, are one of the leading causes of death. And far too often, people don't pay attention to these early signals until the damage is already done. One of the most terrifying threats in this category is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which includes emphysema and chronic bronchitis. It's insidious. Over time, the airways become inflamed, and breathing becomes increasingly difficult. Many older adults simply chalk it up to getting older and don't seek help. They ignore symptoms like frequent coughing, shortness of breath, or even a slight wheeze. But these are clear signs that your lungs are in distress. These are not things you should brush aside. And pneumonia, let's not even underestimate this silent killer. What could start as a minor cold or chest congestion can spiral into something much worse for an older person. It's one of the most dangerous infections for seniors because, as we age, our immune systems become weaker. This isn't just an inconvenience. It's potentially life-threatening. Too many seniors have found themselves in the hospital fighting pneumonia, only for their health to take a nosedive, from which they never recover. I can't stress enough how important it is to recognize pneumonia for what it is and not treat it lightly. Another factor that worsens these diseases is poor air quality. It's easy to forget how much our environment affects us, but over the years, our lungs take a beating from exposure to pollution, dust, and secondhand smoke. Even things inside our homes, mold, pet dander, and chemicals, can trigger or worsen respiratory issues without us even realizing it. If you already struggle with asthma or COPD, these indoor pollutants only make things worse. Taking action doesn't have to be complicated. There are simple changes we can make to protect ourselves. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle, but small steps can go a long way. Using air purifiers, avoiding smoke exposure, and improving indoor air quality can make a noticeable difference. And here's the thing I want everyone to understand. Your lungs need exercise, just like the rest of your body. I've seen so many seniors neglect the simple act of staying active, not realizing that light movement, walking, stretching, can keep the lungs strong and clear. Sitting for too long, not breathing deeply, that's what can lead to lung problems. And the more you sit, the harder it becomes to fight off infections or maintain good lung function. And let's not forget the importance of vaccinations. It seems so small, but keeping up with your flu and pneumonia vaccines can save your life. Too many people underestimate how critical these simple preventative steps are. It's not just about avoiding a cold, it's about preventing something much worse, something that could land you in a hospital bed or worse. Just one visit to the doctor to get these shots could make all the difference between a mild illness and a serious health crisis. Breathing should never feel like a struggle, and it doesn't have to. Your lungs are with you every second of your life, keeping you alive. It's up to you to take care of them, early, consistently, and with intention. Protect your lungs, keep them strong, and they will work for you as long as possible. This is one area of health where you truly have the power to take control and keep your independence. Number 4. Stroke. A stroke is one of those things that hits without warning. You can be living your life one moment, and in the next, everything changes. It's devastating and life-altering. And it's a silent threat for so many, especially for those over 75. But what many people don't realize is that up to 80% of strokes are preventable. That's right. The decisions you make today, whether it's about your health, diet, or lifestyle, can be the difference between a healthy, independent life and a sudden, life-changing event that may leave you dependent on others. When blood flow to the brain is blocked or a blood vessel bursts, the results are devastating. Brain cells start dying within minutes, and the longer your brain is deprived of oxygen, the more damage occurs. Strokes come in all shapes and sizes. Some leave only temporary confusion or mild weakness, but others rob you of your independence, leaving you paralyzed or unable to speak. The truth is, strokes are often fatal, and even if someone survives, the recovery can be long and painful. One of the biggest risk factors for stroke is high blood pressure. This is something that sneaks up on so many people. It's often silent, with no obvious symptoms, yet it's doing significant damage to the arteries over time. The more pressure there is on your arteries, the more likely they are to rupture or become blocked. The problem is that high blood pressure doesn't make you feel sick until it's too late, which is why so many people are walking around unaware of the danger they're in. Another major cause of stroke is irregular heart rhythms, things like atrial fibrillation, AFib, which many older adults don't even realize they have. When your heart doesn't beat properly, blood can pool and form clots. If a clot makes its way to the brain, you can suffer a stroke in an instant. The good news is that with a simple checkup, this can often be caught early, and with treatment, your risk of stroke can be dramatically reduced. It's so easy to overlook, but if it's caught early, it can be life-saving. Then there's diet and lifestyle. I can't tell you how many people don't realize the connection between what they eat and their risk for stroke. Eating too many processed foods, too much salt, and too many unhealthy fats can make you more vulnerable. On top of that, being sedentary makes things worse. Without enough movement, your blood thickens, and circulation slows down, which increases your chances of having a stroke. But here's the good news. You have the power to make changes. By eating more nutritious foods, reducing sodium, and staying active, you can reduce your risk dramatically. And let's not forget about mini-strokes, or TIAs. These are like silent alarms in your body, warning you of an impending stroke. If you experience sudden vision problems or confusion, even if it passes, don't ignore it. That moment could be the difference between stopping a stroke in its tracks and suffering its full effects. The most important thing to remember is that you are in control. You can reduce your risk. Keeping your blood pressure in check, eating a heart-healthy diet, staying active, and recognizing the early warning signs are all things within your control. Don't wait for a stroke to change your life. Start today, take charge of your health, and protect your future. Your independence and your life depend on it. Number 5. Cognitive decline and related complications. One of the most heartbreaking and soul-wrenching realities of growing older is the gradual erosion of memory, reasoning, and independence. It's a cruel, almost invisible process that doesn't happen all at once, but instead creeps in like a thief in the night. At first, it's easy to dismiss the small changes, forgetting a name here, misplacing an item there, or struggling to recall a familiar face. But as the years pass, those fleeting lapses become something far more serious, something far more devastating. The truth is, cognitive decline isn't just an inconvenience. It's a slow unraveling that has the potential to strip away everything we hold dear. The ability to handle even the simplest of daily tasks, things most of us take for granted, starts to fade. The things that once seemed second nature, like recognizing a loved one's face, making sound decisions, or even keeping track of appointments, become monumental challenges. And for so many, this decline is not just about inconvenience. It's about survival. Alzheimer's, dementia, and other cognitive disorders don't just weaken the mind. They start to threaten the very foundation of one's life. A mind in decline means a body in danger. Forgetting to take medications, missing meals, or being unable to recognize early signs of illness can quickly snowball into life-threatening situations. And then, there are the dangers we can't even begin to predict, those that lurk in the background, silently waiting to strike. Seniors with dementia may forget to drink enough water, unknowingly causing life-threatening dehydration. They may overeat or undereat, resulting in severe weight fluctuations or dangerous nutritional deficiencies. But perhaps the most frightening consequence is the risk of accidents. Leaving the stove on, forgetting to lock the door, or wandering outside into unsafe conditions. These aren't just inconveniences. They are potentially deadly situations that can wreak havoc on their health and well-being. For so many older adults, this marks the most devastating loss of all, the loss of independence. It's a cruel irony, isn't it? The very thing we cherish the most in life, the ability to live on our terms, to stand strong and self-sufficient, can slowly slip through our fingers as the years go by. They can no longer live alone safely, and without proper care, their health deteriorates even faster. And what's truly heartbreaking is that many people don't realize they're facing cognitive decline until it's too late. By then, the damage has already been done. They may think it's just part of getting older, brushing it off as a natural part of the process. But in reality, these are the early signs that something inside is changing, and ignoring them can lead to an even darker future. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. We've all had those moments where we forget a name, misplace our keys, or get lost in the middle of a conversation. But when these small lapses turn into consistent struggles, when they start to interfere with everyday life, it's time to pay attention. Your brain is trying to tell you something. It's whispering warnings that we often ignore, telling us that there's a shift happening inside. If we can catch these early signs and take action, we might be able to slow down the progression and keep our minds sharp and healthy for many years to come. One of the most empowering things you can do to protect your brain is to keep it engaged, to keep it active. Just like our muscles need exercise to stay strong, so does our brain. The mind thrives on stimulation. So read books, solve puzzles, learn new skills, or simply have deep, meaningful conversations with others. The more you challenge your mind, the better it can withstand the test of time. But here's something people often overlook. Physical activity is just as critical for brain health as mental activity. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, nourishing it with oxygen and nutrients that support cognitive function. There's also another vital piece of the puzzle that's often overlooked: the importance of human connection. Social interaction is crucial, especially as we grow older. Loneliness and isolation can speed up the decline of mental health faster than almost anything else. Having regular conversations, meeting up with friends, staying engaged in a community. These things not only keep you socially active, but they help keep your mind sharp. The more you expose yourself to new experiences, ideas, and relationships, the stronger your mind becomes. And let's not forget about diet. It's a key factor in keeping your brain healthy, and the food you eat has a profound effect on how you feel, think, and function. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and essential vitamins found in foods like leafy greens, berries, and nuts can help protect against cognitive decline. On the other hand, too much processed food, sugary snacks, and unhealthy fats create inflammation in the brain, which increases the risk of conditions like dementia. A healthy body is the foundation for a healthy mind, and the choices you make today will determine how well you think and function in the years to come. Ultimately, the key to maintaining a sharp mind is consistency. It's about making small, conscious choices each day that nourish your body, mind, and spirit. You don't have to accept cognitive decline as an inevitable part of aging. You can take steps now, staying mentally and physically active, staying socially connected, eating a brain-boosting diet, to protect your mind for as long as possible. Your brain is just like any other part of your body. The more you nurture it, the stronger it will remain. As we wrap up this discussion, take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. Heart disease, falls, respiratory issues, stroke, and cognitive decline. These are the 5 leading causes of death after 75. They're real, they're scary, and they're often unavoidable. But here's the most important truth: they aren't inevitable. We have more control over our health than we think, and the choices we make today can have a profound impact on our tomorrow. Unfortunately, too many people don't realize this until it's too late. The truth is, small, consistent actions starting right now can add years of clarity, strength, and vitality to your life. We may not want to think about aging, but ignoring the risks doesn't make them disappear. However, the good news is that awareness gives us power. Knowing the risks, recognizing the signs, and taking preventive measures means we don't have to live in fear of what's coming. We can focus on longevity, strength, and living life to the fullest. So ask yourself, what small changes can you make today? Maybe it's eating better, moving your body more, getting those regular checkups, or staying more socially active. Whatever it is, remember this: you don't have to make every change all at once. Even a single step in the right direction can set you on a path toward a healthier, longer, and more fulfilling life. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now, for your future self will thank you. As we wrap up today's video, I want to take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. We've touched on some incredibly important points about cognitive decline, its impact on our lives, and how we can take control of our health, even as we age. What's one thing you've learned so far that resonated with you the most? Is there a small change you're planning to make today that will help you stay mentally and physically sharp for years to come? Please, take a moment to comment below this video and share with us one thing you've learned and how you plan to put it into practice in your life. I truly believe that when we share our thoughts and intentions, we can help inspire each other to live our best, healthiest lives. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Together, we can continue this journey of learning, growing, and thriving. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.